Okie dokie, let's get started. Oops, no, don't tag one person. Okay, live. Hello, Real Smurf. Joined fast. Only been streaming for 39 seconds, and most of that was me trying to get the stream set up. Yeah, we're going to be testing the precipitation stuff today. I might need to go back and forth with the editor a bit if there's any like visual glitches. Yeah, I did that last night, but it took so long last night to do. Well, adding it wasn't really the difficult part. It was adjusting everything so that it looks right. That took longer. So by the time I'd finished, it was too late for me to do a stream. So I thought I'd do the stream tonight. So hopefully, if everything looks good, we can just play through and not have to go back to the editor. If any bugs or anything, visual glitches, anything doesn't look great, I'll have to go back to the editor and change things. Even in Neon. So yeah, let's hop into. Let's just do career mode. Top 72% of chasers. I've got 58 skips actually. Top 35% chasers. Top 38. Top 59. Come on. 73, 73, 79, 13. There we go. I think we'll do this one. If we don't get a decent tornado with this setup, that's just a whole load of malarkey. I've used up a lot of skips to get this. So, how it works is there's 4 different precipitation profiles. So every cell will be in one of 4 different precipitation profiles. You have completely clear, which means there's like none of the volumetric precipitation. You got light, so there's be a few rain shafts here and there. Then what was the next one? I forget what the next one was called. It was like a moderate one. I forgot exactly what I called it internally, but yeah. It's like a moderate one where there's more obvious rain shafts and more obvious rain wrapping, and then fully wrapped where the volumetric rendering is like maxed out. So yeah, this looks like we either got a moderate or a wrapped tornado, so not bad for just initially spawning into the game. Right, reflectivity, let's take a look. So it's 2 hour northwest, more than likely. If it's 2 hour northwest, it'll probably be moving southeast towards us. But I've got to say, it changes the atmosphere of the game a lot. It feels a lot more storm-like. Like, look at this. No more just clear blue skies in every direction. Yeah, so instead of just having just the distinction low and high, it kind of splits. We've got clear, like no precipitation, low, moderate, and high. So which way direction we need to look? We need to be looking to probably the northwest or something. Oh yeah, I think I'm seeing the start of the wall cloud here. I might just be imagining things. One feature I'm thinking of adding, and I've had it in my head for a while, is so you know how like if you're outside of the truck and it's windy, now you can die. What if one of the options, not the only way to shelter, I do want to add dedicated tornado shelters, but what if one of the ways you could survive was to ride on the back of a cow? So you could like ride on the back of a cow and orbit the funnel. Like, I think it would just add a bit of comedy to the game, potentially create some viral moments. Oh, this is like right on top of us. We need to move. We're not in a good spot here. Let's head west and then south. This thing could touch down right on top of us. The rain particles increase. So I haven't changed anything with the particles, but I've added a lot of volumetrics to it. So driving through like one of these you can't. So those aren't just particles in the background. Like where you can see those precipitation shafts reaching the ground, you can actually drive through them, and you can drive through them, and everything will get like misty and dark as you drive through them, just like it would in real life. Right, I'm right under a massive wall cloud here. I want to actually open up some space between me and the tornado. Also, the precipitation profile changes over time. So don't worry, if you have like a clear supercell, it can then go to completely rain wrapped. Then it can go maybe to light, and then back to rain wrapped, and then clear. So, but it'll happen slowly over time. So it won't just be like every couple of minutes. Like it'll change over time. But this seems like a pretty heavy, high precipitate. Whoa! Look at the size of this wall cloud. This thing's going to be a beast. I actually want to see it touch down from a distance. Oh, we should probably warn these towns actually. Right, that should probably be first priority. Yeah, I think it's like I don't want the overall game to become silly, but yeah, I know I mean like a couple of things. So like being able to ride cows. I was also possibly do it so like if a cow gets lifted up and impacts the ground, it changes to like a bunch of like prepackaged like beef burgers or something. You can like collect them for $10 each. But things like that, it's like I've got to then go and find some like 3D modeled beef packaging and then add it to the game. But it's one of those things like it wouldn't be a ton of work, but probably a disproportionate amount of work for what it adds in terms of gameplay. But it had a few just like comedic moments, just maybe to alleviate from the intensity of the whole thing. Oh yeah, that's one thing I do want to change. Maybe not tonight if everything goes well with this rain wrapping. Look, can you see there's like a rain curtain there on the right hand side of the wall cloud. I want to decrease the grip on the rear tyres just so you can do like a full like U-turn power slide type thing. Something's starting to touch down. It should just be coming into view. Oh yeah, you can see the dust there. Alright, let's warn this town. Then we'll warn those ones to the south as well. Looks like this and those are all at risk. Yeah, the precipitation does add lower contrast, like the tornado isn't as obvious, which I guess is one of the risks in real life. It's got a lot of dust circulating there. And I guess we're in the bear's cage here because there's not much rain, but you can see it in every direction. Right, we need to warn those towns to the south as well. Right, I think what we'll do is we'll try and keep our speed up. We'll just use this paved road and we'll try and race it. One thing, let's turn chemicals off just for now. And let's just try and gather as much data. Oops. Which storm chaser was it who did that? I remember seeing on a stream they get to a T-junction and don't realise. And yeah, they kind of just brake really hard when they realise and then flew off the road. Quite dangerous. Oh, you can hear the roar as well. I kind of want to increase the distance between me and the tornado to see what these rain-wrapped tornadoes look like. Even though it does look like the precipitation is decreasing somewhat. Right, we're in the outer debris cloud. It's still somewhat safe. But we need to risk our own lives to save these people. So let's do it. Oops, oops, oops. Don't get pulled in, don't get pulled in. Well, that's really, look, the wind field's really close to hitting these towns. But then there's no other towns to the south for a while. Well, that's got big quickly. Look at that. Let me just hide the hood for a second and just admire it. Right, let's plan our next intercept. So I disabled chemicals there. Didn't want it releasing chemicals while we were trying to warn towns. Should we just do wind? Let's just do wind and see how intense we can get it, because it's away from the towns, so I think it's pretty safe to experiment with that now. Let me just go the long way around here just to stay on the paved road. Sorry, I can see the messages. Just prepping to stream this game actually, so hopefully you can sneak a good chase before work. Oh, cool. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Yeah, well, thank you. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed the stream. I'll try and push this update like as soon as possible so you can have it for your stream. So I've got to get a screenshot of that. That looks amazing. I'm not saying that to blow my own trumpet, like it. I'm actually blown away with how good that looks. Right, let's go for an intercept. So, the plan is I keep forgetting this is a thing we can do now. We can turn the tracks off. Let's follow this road around. Oh, look, you can see the rain curtains wrapping around now. That's gonna be way scary. Yeah, because you'll be like, it's hunting, but where is it? And then it'll just appear out of like almost nowhere. Can you see it getting wrapped now? Wow, I'm actually amazed at how good this is looking. Sorry, we might miss this intercept because I'm too amazed by it. Do the different data types give different points? So the different data types, they don't give different points, but the way the data works is with the multiplier. So you want to try and get as many data types as you can, and you also want to try and get as many different tornado ratings for each data type, and then the release different chemicals. I'm not sure, sorry, I don't know if that was the question you were asking. But they all pay the same. The thing that changes is the multiplier. Right, we're going to take the second left. Then we're going to try and burn south as quickly as we can, try and get ahead of it. This looks so much better. Yeah, thank you for keep recommending and suggesting the rain curtains, Real Smurf, because it's definitely made a huge difference to how the game looks. But yeah, the way the data works is I think I use square numbers, so F1 gives you, I think, $1 per sample, F2 gives you 4, or it might be multiplied by 10. I can't actually remember now, it's been so long ago since I came up with the pricing scheme. I can't quite remember. But higher ratings give you more money than lower ratings. Look, it's almost disappearing now. Higher ratings give you more money, more ratings give you more money, more ratings and more data types give you the max amount of money. I don't think we can get ahead of this very easily. Yeah, it's starting to get hidden. If you're driving along not paying attention, it's still quite visible, but if that rain was thicker, look, you can see like where the rain's over where the wooded area is, where the forests are. If that rain's a little bit thicker, you could easily miss that tornado if you're not paying attention. You can see how rain-wrapped tornadoes kill people in real life. Like, if you're not weather aware and just think, oh, it's getting a bit windy, it's getting a bit rainy, I know this. Oh, okay. No. Right, escape route. Oh, nice. Couldn't have happened at a better time. Just go straight north. Right, let's try and do a quick deploy once I get onto the straight bit. Quick deploy, and then I have to see what this looks like. Because we're kind of in the clear slot, the rain's place is like essentially like a circle around it. Oh, you can see the chemicals being released there. A circle around it, so there's like a cage, a bear's cage around it, so we're going to start punching through that in a second, which is exactly where we are now. Look, the wind speed's still picking up because the wind injuries. How are there being injuries? Oh no, there's a town. I don't really have them. Right, we're just gonna have to try and fly and give them a. What is this? I think this calls for an EAS alert. I forgot that's an option. Just as a little Easter egg, the phone number that they call, because I could choose which number dials, then generating the sound effect. It's 2366132, which is one of my favourite phone number songs. Look it up, it's by Dave Carter, Tracy Grammer, who I know I mention on every stream, but I just feel like they don't get anywhere near as much attention as they deserve in terms of the music. Yeah, so there's a really good song called 2366132, and I just wanted to put a little Easter egg in there. So that's the number that's dialed when you send the EAS alert. Right, tornado's starting to get more wrapped. I should probably do quick recall, quick deploy. Okay. Oh, you see the power flash just through all the dust and rain. It's looking. There's something being lifted by it. Yeah, next. The probe's about to release something. Okay, it stopped hunting. I'm glad I did the EAS because no matter which direction it goes, whoops. Didn't mean to do that. It only knocked off 9% health. Let's just watch it. Oh wait, 130 mile an hour. No, I'm gonna die pretty quickly from the wind. What is that? Oh, it's that spinning around. That's getting difficult to see. Oh, it's just released wind. That's responding really quickly to wind. Right, I think it's time to change the I think it's time to stop releasing wind chemicals because it's gonna become unmanageable. Let's try and get the rest. So, whoa, 160 mile an hour winds. Yeah, we're gonna have to be careful. Yeah, we could get lifted. Look how far we are from the tornado. We could easily get lifted. I wonder what we've created here. I wasn't quite paying attention to how big it was getting, but the circulation looks to be what, 5-6 times the actual width of the tornado. It's half a mile right now. So I want to get ahead of it. I'm curious what it is, which means we need to get a clean intercept. So we need to get. Whoa, the truck's struggling here. Whoa, it's really. Look, I've got my foot to the floor and we're doing 50. And it's like really pulling hard to the right. It's hard to show on the stream. Okay, it's not responding much to size, but that's one sample. We've slowed the ground speed and the path deviance down. Good thing we did that EAS warning because those towns are getting obliterated. But I'm curious what the rating is, so if we can get a probe cleanly in front of it, like I'm gonna have to go really far ahead to get this. So we've created a monster that we can barely control now. Right, let's hide tornado tracks because I can't see anything. We need to be getting. Actually, no, I think we've missed the spot. I think we need to be heading this way. Let's go back. I'll turn left. I'm gonna have to drive towards it slightly. But yeah, we're in the F1, getting into the F2 strength winds here. Plus 6% tornado size. Oh. Right, where do we need to go? So I think we'll go till we get to this T junction and turn left and then right. Need to try and get really far ahead of it. Got a lot of driving to do here. It's difficult in 180 mile an hour winds. 190. We're going to get lifted soon. Let's get onto this paved road. We're going to have to go north because I'm starting to lose. The truck's starting to get pulled. Hopefully, once we get onto the paved bit here, we can get a little bit more directional control over the truck. But yeah, I'm not doing this. This is the wind. I think if we can, I think we'll break free of the wind field before we get lofted. I think we'll be good. But this is getting difficult, and that maybe right. At this point, I think we turn the pressure data off as well. Right, 169 miles an hour. Right, where's the next road? Right, we need to be on that road over there. Oh, I can barely see the tornado. Now would be a bad time for a hunt. Yeah, it'd be terrible because I barely moved the truck. Like, I've got my foot to the floor and we're barely managing to go over like 50, 60 miles an hour. Like, what are we doing here? 12 miles an hour? It looks like it's shifted this way a bit. Right, I think we're going to do quick recall. Actually, it looks like the core is going to go here. Wow, this is getting really hard to drive. We need to escape north. I think it's got us. Right. I was going to try my best to fight it. Uh-oh. Ow. Look how much damage this thing's doing. I'm hoping we'll get thrown out of the wind field. See, the next feature I want to add is polarizing chemicals. So if we get in a situation like this, we can add chemicals to fix it. Right, let me just quickly analyze data, because I think the next impact is probably going to kill us. So if we get in a situation where I think ours is becoming unmanageable now, we can then make the chemicals weaken the tornado and shrink the tornado instead. Kind of like in Twist, kind of like the Golden Twisters. Yeah, I think we're goners. I love how it just pauses everything. It's like you died and it just sticks in the field like that. Okay, let's try again. Hope we do better this time. Now I purposely want that to be uncapped. Hello Jeremy, Tornado fan. Oh yeah, and I saw your other comment. Makes the tornadoes gain speed the further you are from them, so you don't gain too much of a lead. Is that inspired from the SCP you were describing the other day, which always moves slightly faster than you? What we could do is a challenge. So this is like the bottom. Sorry, my wife just put a frozen drink on the back of my neck there. I didn't realise she was there. Thank you. What we could try and do, something a bit different. So bottom 1% of chasers use the chemicals to actually turn into a good chase. Should we try that? Yeah, and hello Jeremy, I forgot if I said that already, but welcome. I wasn't inspired by SCP-4160. I forget which... Oh, thank you. I forget which one's which. Alright, let's see what's happening. Where is it? Reflectivity. Put velocity on. I think that'll give us the first clue. It looks like whatever's going to happen is going to be to our north. So let's just... Yeah, I think... Should we head over here? We'll head over here. Okay, so we've got some nice precipitation shafts there. Yeah, it definitely adds to the atmosphere of it. Like, I've had it before, I've been like out cycling, and it's been like very patchy rain, and like I'll look at somewhere that's maybe half a mile away, if not closer, something where there's an obvious like visual, like a forest or where there's trees, and you can see like the cloudiness over them, over the trees, and you see like, oh, I can see it's raining exactly in that spot over there, which we now have in the game. Like before I said, oh, you can see it raining at the forest. Like that's what you have in real life. Like you can see where it's raining at a specific location. I don't think I'll warn the towns just yet because it's probably going to take a while to get the tornado doing anything. Let's see how strong we can get it. I'll do just wind right now. Oh, upgrades. I think probe upgrades are probably the biggest ones right now. Yeah, let's get the wind data sampling rate right. Yeah. And then, are there any truck upgrades we can afford now? I'm not adding weights to it. So yeah, let's do the dew point as well. Just when we come to gathering data. Let's not accidentally press EAS alert. We don't want to do. That'll be wasted. Okay, look, you can see the rain coming down. I came with the idea yourself. Yeah, so the further you are, are you saying the gain speed the further you are from them, just during hunts or just in general? Because I think during hunts actually that could add a bit of excitement to it. So you can never gain too much of a safety margin. I have to figure out exactly how. Excuse me, sorry. I have to make sure that it's balanced, because if they gain too much speed when you're further from them, then they're going to be impossible to escape. Then if you don't do enough, if it doesn't add enough speed, you're not going to realise what's happening either. So you want to gain just enough speed so that you can see what's happening and it feels intense, but not so much speed that you just give up and think, oh, there's no way I'm going to survive this hunt. Oh, I thought there was a funnel coming down there. Now that the map generation, I've just had an idea. Now that the map generation is so much faster, the reason I chose 30 kilometers for career mode is I just didn't want people to wait ages for the map to generate. Now that it's faster, I could probably bump the career map up to 40 kilometers instead of 30. Whoa, that's a bright lightning strike. I'm getting a bit frustrated with the UK weather right now. It's quite dry and hot, which I like hot weather, I don't mind that, but no storms. Usually if we have heat for this long, we'll get some really good thunderstorms, but right now, nothing. You saw the stream and thought you'd watch this. Really added rain wrapping to the tornadoes. Yeah, so the rain wrapping amount changes over time. So sometimes they'll be completely rain wrapped, sometimes there'll be no precipitation at all. Kind of like the F5 at the end of Twister, which I know I've heard of low precipitation supercells, but that's literally a no precipitation supercell producing an F5, which is a bit unrealistic. But yeah, it's just, well, I mean, it's a trade-off. So yeah, there's no precipitation, but you get a clear view of the tornado from a distance. So you hear us rustling. My wife kindly brought me up a cookie. Ooh, what type are these? Belgian milk chocolate. Ooh, it's delicious. Thank you. So the rain shafts use... So in the reflectivity, it actually uses this. So if it's a heavier bit of precipitation, that's going to go off the map. If it's a heavier bit of precipitation, it'll have more dense rain shafts, and then out here it'll be lighter. So the precipitation follows what you see on the radar exactly. See where it's taller, got the heavier rain, and at the edges, it's lighter. If I could, I would send some cookies via stream. I think I need to reintroduce the diamond square algorithm, which is, no, maybe that's literally what it's called. Diamond square algorithm. That's what I used for the 2023 version. That's also what was used in Storm Chasers, because I implemented it, made it radar-like, and then sent it over to Little Cloud Games. Actually, that's an interesting fact to try and look up. What's the strongest tornado produced from a low precipitation supercell? Yes, I've got them matching. The only problem now is the random generation of the cells isn't as unique or cool looking as it was in the 2023 version. So what I need to do is either myself as an exercise, or I might just give it to Codex to do, is re-implement it using the diamond square algorithm. How it works is quite clever. Essentially what you do is let's open up my mouse here. So see you got a grid like this. You seed it with some random values at each corner. And then, let's try and remember, you then take an average, and that becomes the value in the middle. And then you do a diamond phase and then a square phase. So I forget exactly how, but you generate numbers based on the previous ones from at the edges. You then generate them like that. I'll show it quickly. That's how I generated it. Diamond square. I'm forgetting, it's been a few years since implemented it. Let me pull it up on the screen here. Here we go. So you initialize the corner values, then the diamond step, you go from the corners inwards to generate that value. You then go, your square step is then you take that value, and you're using like the average values plus some random amount each time, and then you repeat it recursively. So now this here essentially becomes this step here, and you form it recursively. Obviously, this is just for 5 by 5. This would be for like 256 by 256 or 5. I forget what the texture resolution is to generate them, but that's essentially the algorithm. I then apply a mask, like a circular mask, to mask off the edges because you don't get square supercells, and then you end up with something that looks pretty cool. Yeah, here's an animated version of it. But if you adapt it right, you can use it to generate realistic looking radar images. Sorry, side tangent. Yeah, let's see what Codex can do in terms of adding anvils. I think what I'll do is get the diamond square cells back first, because they look more unique anyway, because every one of these looks like a sombrero. So we need to get that fixed. And then see what I can do in terms of an anvil. See, yeah, from a distance that doesn't look very storm-like. I'm not chasing this one because it's going to die out straight away. I don't know why it headed that way. It must have spawned just to the bottom of here and headed that way, because it should really head towards the center of the map. So we're going to have a little bit of a wait while we wait for the next one. Oh, look, it's already dying. It's already dying out. Okay. Hopefully the next one will be a bit longer lived. If this one dies out, I'll go back to the create screen. We'll generate a new scenario. Because what I wanted to try and do was strengthen a tornado from like almost the worst possible day you can have in the game. But instead, just nothing seems to be happening. There's some cape, there's some helicity, stuff can still happen. It's just going to be very slow. Ah, hello, Dad. My dad sometimes drops in on the streams to see what I'm doing and what I'm up to. Which makes me know if his storm produces a tornado. That can kind of happen. It just depends if you're extremely unlucky. I kind of have it biased towards each storm putting down a tornado because that's the reason people play the game. I remember when I used to stream playing Storm Chasers, and sometimes it would be frustrating when you're trying to play and do a stream, and then just like nothing happens, like multiple cells in a row. Yeah, he's subscribed to my channel, so he must have got the notification that I'd gone live. Hopefully we get something. There's nothing even shown on velocity. I think for the other one, we didn't want to be directly under the wall cloud because that was a dangerous place to be. But I think for this one, we want to be right on that tornado the second it touches down. Just if the storm isn't even starting to rotate or produce a wall cloud, there's not a lot we can do. It's literally just a normal thunderstorm. Yeah, my wife sometimes joins these as well, and just to see what's going on in the stream. She likes to read people's comments. Just make sure I don't ignore people. Does my mum join? I also watch. I think what my dad puts it. Is it on the TV or sometimes on his phone? I think she listens in. She has mentioned a few times she listens in. So yeah, hello mum, hello dad. If you're watching, just testing the latest feature. I've added all these rain shafts that you can see. Definitely make it feel a lot more immersive, a lot more real. One thing I need to do with the lights, I've just thought actually, right now, let me get in the truck to explain this. Right now we just have these headlights on and off. I need to change it so they actually look like the turn on as well, because it emits light, but it doesn't actually. There's a material property called like emissive or something like that, and what that lets you do is make the actual texture itself emit light. So it works well for things that emit light, hence why they're called emissives. What I was thinking is having three modes instead of just on and off. We'll have headlights, and the light bar, and then off. Not sure if anything's happening. There's still not even any rotation yet. Let's try and just keep up with this storm. Which way? It's heading east. Okay, we've still got some time before it goes off the map. So let's head north, and then we've got a nice east road here. Adding an amber light. Well, the middle light of this is red. I should rewatch the movie. I've not really paid attention to what colour the lights are. I thought there was two white and a red. She listens. Yeah. So hopefully I'm not waffling on too much. There's velocity. Anything happening on velocity? No. Yeah, if this one dies out, we'll start a new scenario, because I want to do some intense chasing, not just chasing just thunderstorms. I can do that here in real life. I'm trying to remember, I think in the ditch scene, when they go off into the ditch, I think the lights are on in that scene, if I remember right. So I just need to rewatch that scene and figure out what colour to match them to. Looks like we're getting some sort of wall cloud there. It looks like some sort of wall cloud starting to form there, I'm not sure. I remember back on the Storm Track forums there'd be debates every year of people asking about whether they should use light bars or not. You'd have one side saying no, it's for emergency services only, then other people saying, well, it's not technically, it's not the emergency service signals, and yeah, there'd be a whole debate around them. Personally, I wouldn't use them just because I feel like there could be confused some emergency services, and even if they're not, it's like you don't really need any special treatment just because you're a storm chaser. You're still a road user like everyone else. And having a light bar can imply you have some sort of authority. I guess one thing which might be useful for, but I don't know if they would even work for this, is it could be an option for additional lighting if you're in like a really intense rain or hail. I don't know if better lighting would help in that case, but there would need to be like flashing or anything like an emergency services vehicle. Scud clouds be an addition to the game. It could be. I'm just conscious every bit of volumetric rendering I add puts extra strain on the game and it reduces the frames per second. But it seems to be handling it quite well. I think maybe not necessarily scud clouds. I could maybe make the wall cloud a bit more scuddy. Amber's universally loud. Yeah, I guess I don't really have to worry about that too much because if I was chasing, it would probably be either in a rented vehicle, which probably doesn't come with a light bar. And if it did, I guess the rental company would make sure it was legal. And it would more likely be on like a storm chasing tour if I was to do it. Yeah, it looks like not a lot's happening this chase. Yeah, so bottom 1% chase. It's not even really an option to seed the atmosphere and make the tornadoes stronger. Let's see, is this going off the map? Yeah, I think at this point, let's go back to the main menu. Let's do a better chase. And top 32. We've got plenty of skips. Let's get a good top 1%. Let's go for that. Right. The important thing here is going to be not dying as soon as the tornado feeds on a few of the chemicals. I'm going the wrong way. Oh, or am I? No, I'm not actually. Yeah, let's just head west and then head north. That precipitation looks really heavy. Right, so let's get ready. We're taking the next right. I'm glad you're liking the multi-vortex and the horizontal vortices. Yeah, it does really add something to the character of the tornadoes. I was really happy with how that came out. It was like over a space of like 3 days. Like I came up with an initial implementation one night and then like refined it the next night and then refined it the next. It might have even been a bit longer than that. But yeah, there's a lot of experimenting and getting those just right. Anything on velocity yet? Oh yeah, what there is. Which way is it moving is going to be the next question. And where do we need to be? So let's close that distance down a bit. We're a bit too far. Let's stop along here. I'm conscious if I go too far north, there's not any good east options. So I think we'll stop along this next road. Wow, look, the precipitation's really dark on this one. Oh, there's the wall cloud. You can see it just starting to form there. Is it coming this way? No, I think it's moving from southeast. The couplet's strengthening. I can't tell if it's moving southeast or if it's just because the vehicle's moving and it's re-rendering. Yeah, no, it is. I think it is moving southeast. Will it be releasing co-op this year? Ooh, hard to say. I'd like to, but it's probably gonna be more work than I'm expecting. Like, I'm already expecting it to be a lot of work, and it's probably still more than that. I think let's get chemicals sorted. I would like to, though, maybe a very simple version. I guess the first step is to have just other players show in the same area, so you'd both be playing on a completely different map. The tornadoes would be different, and all that synchronizes your position. Then I think the next step would be synchronizing the tornadoes, and then finally synchronizing the map. Codex will make it a lot easier than it would otherwise be. Then I've got to figure out things like matchmaking and lobbies and things like that. Oh yeah, well, according to the map, something's touching down. Oh yeah, you can see some dust getting kicked up. How are we going to get over there? It's not very well connected. I think we're going to have to go the long way around here. Let's follow this road around. Go... We may have some off-roading to do. Let's set up chemicals. I think let's not intensify it, because then that got difficult to manage very quickly. Let's do these three. Make it bigger without necessarily making it stronger. Slow it down and make the path stable. It makes future intercepts easier. Oh, the debris cloud's glowing there. It must just be catching the sunlight, because what time is it in the game right now? 9 in the morning, so the sun is still quite low. Any towns we need to worry about? Not really. Take a walk in the woods. I see, not every tornado in the game is a wedge. That's a beautiful looking tornado. Quite visible. I think there's not as much rain wrapping in this case. I'm starting to hear the roar. Right. Why is it moving at 55 miles an hour? Oh yeah, because I'm almost top level now. I think Professor... Oh, I'm at the max rank, that's why. So, 50 mile an hour tornadoes are a thing. So, I want to be a little bit more tactical or strategic. I'm not sure which one this is. Let's just do temperature for now. And slow it down first. And then that gives us more time to do more intercepts. So I don't know what point to go off-road, because that's travelling 50 miles an hour. 107 miles an hour, so we're going twice the speed. Oh, it's starting to wrap a bit. So I don't know if I take the time to try and off-road, because that's like a kilometre of off-roading. I'm going to lose a lot of time, but then that's a really nice road to try and intercept on. I think we'll go for it. Let's pass the hills. I don't want to deal with the hills. Right. Let's take the gap between the hills. Right, this is going to be a bit frustrating, but I think it needs to be done. Upgrade. Have I got any vehicle upgrades I can afford? No. Right, hopefully this thing doesn't decide to hunt. We're going to have to try and escape on dirt roads over hills, which isn't ideal. See, these are not easy to navigate. Oh, look at how the funnel's lit there, I really like that. Sorry, I'm missing out on the chats here. Just go off-roading, yeah. Go east straight into it. Usually inside the tornado early. Yeah, what you want to try and do is be ahead of the storm. It makes it a lot easier. If you're right where the tornado is, you're going to have to try and keep up with it, but because you're so close to it, it tends to cut off your routes. You need to either escape or to navigate around it. Got some mist, like some light mist there wrapping around it. So you usually want to be ahead of where you think it's going to be, and that makes it easier because it gives you time to plan your intercept, even time to do micro adjustments to your intercept point. So you see now how we're behind the tornado. It makes it so much harder because you need to use a lot of time up just to catch up with it. Then you need extra time to get ahead of it as well, and then time to set up and deploy. We've got a horizontal vortex coming off it there. Make the environment darker. Yeah, maybe I could do something clever with the ambient lighting and reduce that based on where you're under the storm. Right, let's try and add some chemicals to slow it down. So yeah, chemicals are enabled. We've got temperature, which reduces ground speed. So yeah, let's try and get this thing slowed down. It's getting difficult to see. Okay, this would be a point of view driving. Not easy to see what's going on at all. Right, let's see where debris is getting lifted up, because we probably don't want to get too... Oh, I'm about to drive into the core. Stop, 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 stop. It's going to cross right in front of us. Oops, no, I didn't mean to get out the truck. I meant to press Y to change the view. We should be okay here. Okay, we'll slow the ground speed down 10%. Okay, it's down to 45. And this will continue on for the next tornado, so it means the next one which touches down will have the ground speed slowed down. Look, how dangerous would this be in real life? Like, you can barely see the thing. I think this is another good screenshot opportunity. Let's get out the truck as well, and let's make sure I'm not losing health. Yeah, no, we're okay where we are. Horizontal vortex coming off again. Right, let's try and catch up again. So, yeah, this is trying to wrangle a tornado, isn't it? Because it's essentially trying to run away, and we're trying to slow its escape. We need to get into that F1 wind. Let's turn the tracks off. The road network's not great here. Okay, slowed it down again. It's down into the 30-mile-an-hour range. Oh, it's really starting to wrap now. We may need to off-road for a bit. Hopefully it doesn't hunt. It's back up to 45 miles now. Something got slabbed. I think that was a barn. I'm struggling to catch up with it. It's moving 47, we're doing 41, so it's still making progress on us. Yeah. Whoa, it's hit something. Look at all that debris. I don't think we're going to catch it. I still want to get a good view of it though. Can I make controller steering a bit more configurable? There is some, if you go to the pause menu, go to controller, you can change it to the sort of vehicle camera look and the first person look. You can dial the sensitivity up or down if you need to. Oh wow, it's really wrapping now. Oh, there's a sub-vortex in there. It's almost entirely concealed by the precip now. Yeah, hope that helps. I do need to add even more options, I think, for like controller mouse sensitivity, but that should at least get you something playable, something that you can work with. Yeah, that looks. I'm actually really surprised at how good that's looking. Because the tricky thing about these is that it's all randomized as well, so I don't have full control over how it looks. But right now, that's, yeah, it's almost gone. Make the rest of the menus usable with the controller. Yeah, I should probably get around to doing that. Just reuse the logic that we've got for this menu for every other menu. Right, then after this rope's out, let's go and chase another one. Hopefully the ground speed will be lower this second time around, because how many... I think we managed to get 2 lots of chemicals released. Yeah, we managed to get 2 released, which isn't bad. I'm dead zone things. Yeah, see, these are the things I forget when I'm... And controller support. Yeah, you do need dead zone sometimes, don't you? Depending on what your controller. Otherwise, yeah, it can be twitchy, or even if it's a really old and well-worn controller, like you could be sitting and then your point of view could just be drifting slowly. Yeah, there it goes. So that's roping out. So we've got our next tornado. Hopefully it's a slower one. Maybe we should navigate to where the road network's a bit better. Maybe getting up to here. So let's head west and then take the second right. I'll still try and keep the tornado in view though, so we can watch it rope out. You can recreate that scene from Twister and the burst out of the cone onto the road. I still haven't figured out where that was filmed. I found a few spots around Iowa which seem like decent candidates, but still doesn't match completely. It feels like Christmas. Oh, glad I could bring Christmas early. What is the map tile rings? Ah, yes, so the map's split into 500 meter by 500 meter tiles. So like, so this will be one. Actually, probably easier to see with the forest. So there's 2 here, so that's one. That's one. All that is how many rings of tiles around you. So it loads the tile that you're on, and 1 ring or square of tiles around where you are. That's the lowest set, and that's 1. So if you set the tile rings to 2, it'll load everything for a kilometer around. If you set it to 3, it'll load everything 1.5 kilometers around you. Yeah, it determines how much, how far the terrain gets loaded around you. So higher makes the map look better and more full. It'll also reduce frames per second because your game's having to load more things. Oops, misread the map there. Still need to go north another 500 meters. That's how we're able to make the map so big, because it's only ever even though this map's 30 kilometers, it's only ever got like 2 by 2 kilometers loaded at any one time. Whereas when I did the 2023 version of the game, the entire map is loaded and simulated the entire time. So I think it was a 16 by 16 kilometer map, if I remember correctly. So if you're on one corner and the tornado's doing damage on the opposite corner of the map, then it's simulating all the physics and still like rendering and stuff on the opposite side of the map. So that wasn't as performant as it could have been. It's like you've literally holding the whole map in memory, doing all the physics calculations in real time, and really you only need to be calculating and simulating what the player can see. It's one of those sneaky tricks games do to be performant on large maps. Yeah, let's try. The spawn location of the next tornado will be based off where we are, but it could be quite wide, so it could probably still be, I can't remember what I set it to, but 10, 20 kilometers away from where we actually are. But let's just try and get to a good spot where the road network's a bit nicer. Should take this little motorway bump over there. Don't need the headlights now. Yeah, if you do, I created like a Google My Maps of as many Twister filming locations as I could find. Oh, got our next storm going up. If you remind me, are you in the Discord server? If you'll just remind me, I'll drop a link to the map in there. It's something myself and then a few people from some of the Twister fan groups have put together with locations were found. But all the major scenes, so it's all the scenes in Oklahoma and Iowa, and then one bit of B-roll footage in Texas we managed to find. I won't name it, I don't know if he wants to be named on the stream, so I won't name him without his permission, but he managed to get like a 60 gigabyte version of Twister with really high quality pictures, and then the bit of B-roll footage where in Texas he was able to read the road, which was like a farm to market road. And then he was able to go along Google Maps and then find it. Oh, this tornado's right next to us. Perfect. South. Let's go south. And then I did something similar. So he was looking for it and found a spot. I was looking for it, found the exact same spot. So we're like, yeah, we've both independently come to the exact same location. There's like a little post sticking out the ground you can see on the left-hand side of the road in the scene. And it's still there in like the 2022 or 2020 Street View imagery. Don't know what purpose it serves. But there's like this little like metal pole sticking out the ground in the field that you see in the 1995 footage, and it's still there like 20, 25, 30 years later. I think the rain curtains overlap the tornado if they're thick enough. Yeah, it's going to take some experimentation to get these perfect. Right, we want to be right. Where's velocity? Right. Honestly, it's this vertical track of like mountains which is killing me here. Is it heading south? Right. Let's just head south as much as we can. This is just like real life. Not everywhere where storms form you have a nice road network. Yeah, definitely need to get this version pushed before. So it looks like Komodo Gaming's quite likely to do a video about it. Oh, here comes the funnel cloud's coming down. And then Blitz. There's a Blitz Gaming activated the key ascent. So I definitely need the game looking as good as possible before big YouTubers start doing coverage of it. Otherwise that's a wasted opportunity. Right, so if it's heading south... Is it heading south? Oh, I've turned tornado tracks off, that's what... Okay, southwest. I really don't want to have to off-road again, but I think we're going to have to. It's just so slow. Any towns to worry about? Not yet. Oh, that tornado does something really cool. Very scuddy tornado. I like that. Let's just drive towards it. It can look such bright, partial blue skies. Oh yeah, so what you're seeing here, this is going to be the update I'm going to push tonight. So the reason your game doesn't look like this, I haven't released it yet. So what I usually do is I'll post a few things on development updates to let people know what I'm working on. I'll then do, once I feel like I've got the update ready to publish, I'll do a live stream to test it, just to do any last minute fixes. Wow, that's... Sorry, I'm getting distracted again. Look at that. I then do one of these streams, and then immediately after the stream I'll then publish the update. So it's like a playtest / demo on the stream. So sometimes you'll get a view behind the scenes where I have to go back into the Unity editor and change things. It was getting misty near the bottom. That looks amazing. Wow. So I don't want to come across as sounding like boastful when I'm saying it looks a bit like I'm genuinely impressed with, because I don't have full control over it. I can write the code and the logic for what gets rendered. I don't have a lot of control over how it looks. So sometimes the random number generator just comes together in the game and it just ends up looking perfect. Yeah, the walkouts definitely need to be a lot noisier. Noisier and scuddier. Game's so good. Oh, thank you. Yeah, it wouldn't be anywhere near what it was without the community behind it. It's like the constant feedback and like positive messages and things really makes a difference. Because if you imagine if I was just developing this solo, not ever hearing anything back about what people enjoy, what they don't enjoy, it would be a completely different game. Like the whole reason I've added these rain curtains, which have completely changed how it looks, is because Real Smurf suggested it last stream. So I thought, yeah, I think I'll make that my next thing I work on. Probably wouldn't have been top priority if I was just working by myself, but it's made all the difference. Then sometimes I've had an idea and then it ends up not being as good as what we thought originally. I'm trying to think, I've had some ideas which I've reversed. Like the anomalies thing, I thought the idea like, when you scan data you should have some chance of there being anomalies, and then you use those to get upgrades. And then like every stream it was like, what's an anomaly? I don't understand anomalies. And I realized like, okay, this makes sense to me, but it's not really making sense to anyone else. And then after a few play tests, I was like, actually, there's not much difference between collecting an anomaly and just doing a normal chase, like a normal intercept. Wow. So, yeah, without that constant feedback, like the game wouldn't be half of what it is right now. Right, I think we can let's race it. How fast are they going? 30. We're going 106. So we're going 3 and a bit times faster. Let's get ahead of it. Once we're ahead of it, let's try and intercept on the other side of this field. Getting ahead of it is the most difficult thing. Let's say we're about to drive through a rain curtain up ahead. I'm so glad the vegetation fixes it. I'm so glad the vegetation fixes it in place as well. One of the things which was making it difficult to update the Steam page is that try and record footage for the game to make a trailer, but I obviously don't want footage where the vegetation's missing, because then the map looks barren and doesn't look right. Oh, power flash. So now that that's fixed, I need to definitely record some footage, put together a trailer, update the Steam page, because I think people are being put off buying the game because they'll look at the Steam page and the first thing they'll see is screenshots from like a 3-year-old version, which doesn't even exist anymore. Oh, it's disappearing again. Right, we're ahead of it. Now we're gonna have to race it south. Right, what speed's it doing? 33. Okay, once we get into the F1, have we made any progress towards data so far? The last tornado we did, we've made nothing on this tornado, so let's... Right, it's starting to turn a bit more west. Well, the intercept point's getting difficult to judge. About here. Quick deploy, and then let's get out of here. Look, the dangers of rain wrapping are being made apparent now. Right, then you turn right at the end of this road. Let's try and slow this thing down, because it's still moving 30 miles an hour. It's difficult to chase. Oh, just about to see it through the rain there. I can see some sub-vortices dancing around in the field there. I can hear stuff shattering. Stuff's breaking, but I can't see what. Okay, I've slowed the ground speed down and more. 20%. Sorry, something's tickling my throat. It's barely visible. Oh, the probe's right in there. Let's look at through the probe camera. The game gets... I need to do something about the probe camera. It really lags the game. I think what we can probably do... Quick recall. Let's go for a quick deploy over... Right, I think we can go for a quick deploy up here. Well, I'm going to enable all the data types now. I think we went a bit too far, Let's back up a bit. It's getting difficult to see. I'm going to sit... Right. Oops. Quick deploy, and then... Quick deploy, there we go. And I need to get out of here. I'm going to use that motorway, because we can make much faster progress on the motorway. Right, we're ahead of it now. We can start doing a bit more... what do you call it? Intercept. Look! You can barely see it. Right, let's head south. I am driving south, aren't I? Yeah. I'll do a quick recall and quick deploy once we're ready to... Once we're in position. I think we need to deploy this next intersection. Shall I try a manual deployment? Let's do quick recall. I'm going to try a manual deployment just for the intensity of trying to do it. Stop. Look, I can't even judge the distance to it. It's somewhere in there. So we're a bit clearer now that we're inside the bear's cage. What other chemicals are getting close to being released? Oh, almost all of them. Let's see what we end up with here. That is so ominous. Oh, look at that massive horizontal vortex coming off it. Oh wait, I was trying to use that motorway. Let's try and watch it from the probe's point of view. It really lags the game. I need to do something about the probe camera rendering. Get an F4, strength winds. F5. Barely see it. How are we doing on chemicals? It's making very fast progress. We've got decent data here as well. We're going to be able to do some upgrades soon. I wonder if, do people want to see behind the scenes a little bit before I push this update? Let's wait till this tornado goes off the map, And I think what we're going to do is we're going to optimize that probe camera, because the probe camera is a cool feature, but it is really laggy. I'm not happy with it. We're going to have to go north before our intercept path gets cut off. I didn't actually see what any of those things did. What's it add in terms of wind speed and ground speed and size? I didn't actually see. Alright, let's do quick recall. I don't want to go off-road to deploy because we'll probably get overrun by the tornado. Or is it worth a try? Is it worth a shot? There it is. Right, I think we'll just go off-road a little way. This will be a really bad time for a hunt. I've got like nowhere to escape to. I'm not going to cheat and go off the map. Actually, it's moving 20 miles an hour, I think. Right, I'll do the actually quick recall. We'll do the deployment when we're more show in the path. I can barely see it. Right, I think we can outpace it. Oh, I can see it now. I can see the left side at least. How the drill bit's going? I haven't made any progress, unfortunately. Oh, come on. Not now. Not now. Right, at least there's a motorway we can use. No, I refuse to die. What do I do? Right, this is what I'm going to do. Data. Analyze data. Right, at least I've made the progress. 322. What's the probe getting? F5 still. Oh, we might actually survive this. Maybe not. Whoa, 390, 400. Right, let's get the probe in the car. Quick recall. Probe camera. F6 there. F5. F4. Let's wait till the wind speed picks up a bit. If we stay in the... Whoa, a little bit of debris almost took us out there. Alright, I should probably stop releasing the chemicals. Oh, look, there's the overpass, completely demolished. Okay, we might be about to die. Actually, let's quickly analyze whatever data we've got here. Oh, I think this is it. 1% health, yeah. Let's just quickly analyze any more data. That hunt could not have come at a worse time. Yeah, it died. It's going to return me to the main menu. Right. So I'm happy with how things are in terms of the precipitation. That looked amazing. We add other vehicles into the game. Yes, I want to eventually. The difficult thing is I need to essentially pay someone to model them, at least with the vehicles I'm thinking of. And it's not cheap. So if I add more vehicles, they'll probably come as DLC. Like it won't be ridiculously priced DLC. Like I'm thinking maybe $4 or $5 to add them, and that's not including sale price. So during sales, it'll be like $2. But yeah, there's a lot of outlay for getting those like custom vehicles into the game. So let's check. Oh, oh, let's type that. Yeah, so unworking tree clean. Right, so start a new session. Please look at the probe camera setup in the main gameplay scene. The probe is sometimes referred to as Toto. It has its own camera under the player vehicle. However, whenever I activate it, the FPS tanks. Please can you look for easy win optimizations? And we can look at some stuff as well. So I'll show you exactly what it is I'm talking about. So this is your scene. So you got your customize your chase scene, but this is just to set everything up. It then it takes everything you set up and loads you into the main gameplay scene. So it's actually very underwhelming when you see what just the empty scene looks like. So this is literally a scene. So what I've created is this. I just call OOB for out of bounds. It's literally just a terrain layer that is how size did I big it? Wow, my English is not good tonight, considering that's my native language. It's 60 kilometers by 60 kilometers. Um, the point of this is so that if you deploy your probe while a tile's loaded, that's fine. But if you drive further away, that tile will unload and your probe will just fall through the map. So it's partially to stop things falling through the bottom of the map. It's also so if you drive out of the bounds of the map, there's still uh, a little bit of extra terrain before you actually fall off the actual edge of the map. So play a truck. Let me zoom in on it. Uh, so in that we've got uh, play a truck. One thing we can change actually while we're here: vehicle controller, rolling resistance, drive, balance, brake, tire friction, rear 100%, front 100%. I think we want to push that more towards the front, less towards the rear. I want to be able to do a power slide. Not the Tenacious D power slide, but the vehicle maneuver. Um, Handling bias. Let's bump it towards oversteer just a little bit. I'll see how that handles. If it handles like crap, we'll put it back to how it originally was. Um, so let's change those. And then what we're looking at, so you go mesh, yellow truck optimized, Toto, and then probe camera. So this is what we've got. So what I can do is you can go like game object, align view to selected. So that would be the camera's point of view. Then it's got its own settings here. Um, So we've got the nature renderer camera settings. So renders the vegetation, but only out to a distance of 100 meters. And then it doesn't render shadows because that's an extra computation you don't really want it to do. Um, I want to leave the other settings untouched. And then let's see what Codex is saying. Has it managed to find what I'm on about? Right, I'll just say it's look for probe camera. It's under Toto. So then this is what the truck looks like in the editor. So we've got the probe. And one thing we'll try and fix as well is that annoying thing where when you're standing here, it keeps trying to interact with the menu with this. Right, so it should have its own collider. If I turn colliders off, let's have a look. It should have its own collider. Maybe it's based on distance. Let's try and fix that as well because it's quite annoying when you're trying to get into your vehicle quickly and it keeps opening the probe interaction menu. I might try and fix that quickly as well. I just finished playing the game. Yeah, chemicals can make it go rapidly out of control. Like, even I know what the chemicals do and how they work behind the scenes, and I still manage to lose control of the situation. That's what makes it fun. When you create a gameplay mechanic or mechanism that you can't control yourself, I think that's you got something quite fun. Make horizontal forces pick up your vehicle. Oh, I think the amount of mathematics that would be required to run in real time there to simulate that would be quite difficult. Right, let's see what's it in. Right, let's see what it's saying. I found the correct Toto probe camera. The FPS job is mainly because it adds a second continuously rendered camera. The main camera remains active. The strongest easy wins are render the probe feed at 15 frames per second rather than every frame. At 320 by 240, this should still suit the VHS style display and could remove roughly 75% of its rendering work at 60 frames per second. Okay, how do you do that? Because I don't think you can. Can you cap the FPS easily in here or not? Good thing about Codex is I can just ask, okay, how do I do that then? How do I render it at 15 frames per second? Yeah, I don't think it needs to be rendering at 60 frames per second either. Disable shadows for probe camera. Oh yeah, because we disabled shadows for the vegetation. Yeah, let's disable the shadows here as well. Okay. I've disabled anti-aliasing as well. We do need to keep post-processing on though for the VHS effect. So I will get back. I can see the chat scrolling by in the corner of my eye. I will respond. I was trying to respond to every message in chat. Uh, let's just see what we can do here. Disable shadows. Exclude probe camera from the windshield render features. What? 3-pass windshield blur and draws windshield meshes for every game camera. Include. Oh, it shouldn't be doing that. You know, it shouldn't be doing that from the windshield render features. How do I do that? Give the probe a fixed shorter far clip, such as 1 to 2 kilometers. Yeah, maybe I should half that. I don't think it needs to be seeing 8 kilometers out. Let's set that to 4 kilometers. Then let's ask about each of these in turn. Disable HDR for this camera. Oh yeah, we definitely don't need HDR. How do you disable HDR? I know that's an option because I've had to change it before. Um, Why is it? I've definitely seen the HDR option before. Right, let's go through these in order. Okay, so I'll just say I have disabled shadows and cut the render distance back to 4 kilometers. Um, can you walk me step by step through getting it rendering at 15 FPS, excluding from windshield render features? That'll be adding a lot of unnecessary rendering and disabling HDR. There we go. Let's do step by step. Being a tornado in Beatrice. I need to bring that back. Feel the power stack game. Yeah, I do want to create that. The problem I have is a lot of the rendering I've designed to look good from ground level. So I'll just have to think exactly how I can do that. But it would definitely make multiplayer more interesting because you can have players with chemicals which can weaken you. So the players can actually fight you as well, not just be at your mercy like they were in Storm Chasers. Yeah, this would be a huge win if we can get the probe camera looking good, because that's not going to look good if, especially people like Komodo or Jeff Favignano who have really impressive gaming PC setups, and then if it starts lagging on their computers while they're showing it, then people are going to be thinking, well, my computer's not as good as theirs and it's already lagging on theirs, so why should I buy it for mine? Mine's going to have no chance. I don't want to create the impression that it's not going to run well. Yeah, I definitely need to get around to actually building some more town tiles. Because I don't have very many holiday days left at work. Like I've taken some holiday days where, um, just like a single day holiday, just to spend some time with my wife in the morning, and then in the afternoon work on the game. But I've only been able to do that once, maybe twice this year. Trying to remember, because obviously it's not something I can do every month. But it would be good if I could book like a day off just to have a whole day working on the game and just adding more tiles. I want to add a river tile, a river with a bridge with like a jump and a gap in the middle, so you've actually got to try and jump the river. Um, I want to have proper towns with proper houses, not just trailer parks. And I want to add an industrial zone as well. Right, let's go through each of these. Your project's Unity 6 with URP, so using SRP, so scripted render, pipeline render request rather than camera render. Render, do a render texture. Make probe camera, open assets probe camera. Well, right, I'll just say, can you do one for me, please? Actually, anything you can do, can you do it and then just let me know what to do after, right? This is one of the Yeah, this has completely changed how I code. Like I sent him just telling the computer, can you just do it, please? And then I'll just review after. Why are they super bunched up together? That's intentional. The way the map generation works is we'll create invisible grid lines where we're trying preferentially place horizontal and vertical roads to create somewhat of a grid structure. Then in each of those cells, we say, can this have a populated town tile in it or not? So some will be yes, some will be no. So it forms natural grids where towns are more likely to be placed. And it makes more sense having them clustered together as well. It makes it easier to plan out some sort of strategy or sequence you want to warn them in, rather than just having single little trailer parks just dotted randomly throughout the map. Gain more power in part of the map. What do you mean by that? So the tornadoes already, so the Cape and Helicity are distributed randomly across the map. So the tornadoes themselves can gain and lose power as they move across the map. Okay, let's see what Codex can do for us, and then we'll test out the probe camera, and I need to test out the new vehicle handling as well. Oh yeah, if you've got some new photos to use, like I won't be able. UK copyright law is very strict, so I won't be able to use your images directly, but I can definitely use them as inspiration to gather my own together in the game to put together for the Steam page. Yeah, I appreciate if you got some uh, photos I can use as like reference to figure out which angles, which lighting conditions look good for the Steam page. Yeah, I can make them randomly generated, so there's already random generation on the tiles anyway, so there's invisible spots. I'll show how it works actually. While we're waiting for that, I'll put this in another window. If this is going to keep recompiling, I might not be able to. I'll just pull up a random map tile. Yeah, so I can't do anything that mouse is locked while it's recompiling. But essentially, I place zones where you have a list of prefabs. So prefabs are just uh, well, essentially prefabricated models which can just be dropped and loaded into the game. So it'll just choose randomly from that list and say, okay, there's going to be a wind turbine here, and there's going to be a crumple of cows over here. That's a reference. That's a reference of a stream a while ago. I couldn't remember the name. I guess a herd of cows, um, and then I couldn't think of the name, so I called them a crumple of cows, and that just became a thing that they're called. Um, so yeah, it'll choose random things from that list. So what I can do is instead of hand placing each house in a town, what I can place is one of the possibilities for each type of house to load. So each time you go into each one, maybe there won't be houses in certain positions, like empty lots. Some will have different types of houses. I can easily do that. It might even be easier than hand placing everything anyway. Right, reload. Implement all available optimizations. Return to unit, accept the scene, reload with a script compilation. Yeah, so I'll just show what I was talking about in terms of what do you call it? What's this? Oh yeah, that was a diamond square algorithm. Let's take that off. Um, right. Let's think of one. So let's say dotted. Most of them, I think it's like dotted T or something like that. Let's just go to this folder. Um, I think I might call it dotted branch. Where is it? Dotted branch. So what's the model for that? Branched road, I called it. Right, so if I just load this into the scene. So we've got these placement assets. So let's show where it is. Can I zoom out? I don't know why it's... Okay, so you can see where they are. So there's like one over there, one here. I've just kind of dotted them around the map a bit. Now, each of these placement assets, what they do is they have a prefab list. So this one's large items. So if I go to the large items list, we've got a wind turbine, water tower, tractor trailer, clump of trees, crumple of cows, and a barn. So if I add new models into the game, I literally just have to update this one list, and then every tile which loads from that large items list. And because some of these are suitable, so you got a large items list, but we've also got like a roadside items. So you you might have a fence or power line right next to a road, but you're probably not going to have like a wind turbine right on the edge of the road. So we've got different lists for different things. So it'll just be the case of creating uh, like a model house list, and then you can load from there. They're talking about AI use on the Steam page. No, because AI wasn't a thing when I. So when you've like first create the Steam page, you got to fill out a bunch of things. I think now there's an option when you're creating a Steam page to add AI. There's an option, but it wasn't a thing when I created the game because AI wasn't a thing back then. Really, it was in the very early stages. Yeah, I think AI coding, it's just a very advanced autocomplete, really. Like if I'm typing out the game page and it autocompletes a bunch of sentences, that's no different really than using the AI to autocomplete some code that you're writing. Like I do understand when people just have AI generated assets or maybe even an entirely AI generated game, but like I keep saying, before I started using Codex, I coded 80–90% of this myself, and then started using AI to expand the functionality. So I create like a solid base to build the game on. So the map generation and the tornado rendering, all that was already done, and all the game logic was in there. And then I'm using AI to expand that. But I'm probably not going to change the thing on the Steam page because I think that would instantly harm sales and visibility. And everyone uses AI to code games now. So I think AI is suitable if you're using like AI generated assets, AI generated art, which I'm not. So let's go. What we're going to do, we're going to test it. I'm going to test the new controls as well. So we'll go to the customize your chase scene. We'll test test this in the messenger in the editor. Yeah, some customer support is like the only option is like an AI thing, and it's really frustrating, especially when it doesn't understand. Usually, if I'm calling customer support, it's because it's some really specific or complicated situation that I can't just deal with myself. And then you try and explain it to an AI, and it just picks one or two keywords out, and then it's like, oh, so you want to do this, and it's like, no, like you've picked up one word of what I've said, and that's not at all what I want to do. Right. Let's do career mode. I'm much I'm much further behind. So the editor save file and the build save file are different, so I'm not leveled up very far. Yeah, like I'd understand people want to know, like if I was buying a game that somebody had completely AI generated, yeah, I'd want to know that this game's just like AI slop essentially. But if somebody's just used AI as a coding assistant as part of designing and implementing the game, that's a bit different. But if it's completely AI generated, yeah, I understand. Like that should be flagged on Steam as like this is just an AI slop game essentially. Whoa. Right. Let's just see what's it like to drive now. And the important thing is, can I do a power slide? Yes. Yeah, you can kick out the back end. What's that called? What's that called? It's like a Dutch maneuver or something like that. So can I power slide around this corner? Oh, I think it's a little bit oversteery. I think it's too oversteery. Let's just dial that down a bit. So where was it? Handling by it's oversteer plus 20%. I think that's a bit too far. Let's try it with plus 10. Yeah, there's a bit too much oversteer there. Yeah, I feel like I can kick the back end out now, but still keep directional control of the truck. But I still need to be able to do a power slide. Yes. Okay, perfect. So that should be 0.55. Then the other thing we're testing. So if I get the frames per second up, then we'll go here, and then I have to hide that probe camera. 22. 18. It's still a bit on the laggy side, I'd say. This is in editor though. It's always slower in the editor than the actual game. What if I let's set the rendering distance down. No, wrong one. Where's player truck? There. Mesh. Boom. There. What if I did set the rendering distance down to... Wait, why is this set to 12 kilometers? Wait, what? But seeing the camera's disabled. What? The camera's not disabled because I'm literally looking through it right now. That's weird. And why is it set to 12 kilometers? Yeah, why did it set to 12 kilometers? Where did that come from? Oh, do you know why? It's because that's the rendering distance, so it'll set that for the probe camera as well. We need to change that. So, four, yeah, I think 4 kilometers should be fine if it actually does 4 kilometers. So let's go back. So I need to remember those settings because one of the most annoying things when you first start to use Unity is that while in play mode, any settings you make don't save unless it's a material like you change the properties of. Yeah, what it is what it's doing is it's taking the 12-kilometer rendering distance, so you can set that in the settings, and that's meant for your player camera. It's applying it to every camera. So let me just fix that. So we'll go player truck. So remember the magic number was 0.55. I think the grip distribution was fine. So oversteer, no, that's steering limit. Handling bias, oversteer. What is a Jeep J10? Is it front wheel drive, rear wheel drive? I'm guessing it has probably an option for all wheel drive. Jeep J10 Honcho, four-wheel drive or rear wheel drive? Oh, it's a four-wheel drive. Just you don't even switch between it. It's literally just four-wheel drive all the time. Okay, right. I need to settle that to codecs. What do you know? I've just tested, and the camera render distance, in my case, 12,000 meters, overrides the 4 kilometers set for the total probe cam. Can you make sure this camera doesn't get overridden by the settings setting? So is that 0.55? I feel like we changed something else as well. Oh yeah, but that has to happen in sort of mesh boom probe camera. So that should be 4 kilometers. Okay, and that should be better. Then we can publish the update. Yeah, I think so. I think the way AI will take over the world is not in like a robotic sense, like it's got robots running around doing its bidding. What it'll do is replace the thinking capacity for people who are like in positions of power. And then I guess it replace it for the general population first, and then people in power like they'll just keep deferring the decisions. Like, oh, it'll just be easier if Codex or ChatGPT or whatever model they've got makes this decision. Oh, it'll be better if that makes a decision. And then when you do that enough times, you'll lose your capacity to think. Okay, that was a very straightforward fix. Reload. Right. Let's do a build. So that's ready. Uh, do you have an idea when you'll push the update of the rain wrapping? Yes, once about 10 minutes after ending the stream. What we could do, I don't know if we were talking about some of the Twister filming locations. I could do a quick virtual tour of some of the famous locations. Uh, let's have a look. My maps. So I'll try and go through the movie in as chronological order as I can, just quickly. Um, so Joe's house at the very beginning, where the dad gets sucked out the basement, that was filmed here. So if you go in historical satellite imagery, I think the house was about here. Um, and then the the shelter I think actually built for the movie was here, close to this road. And the first shot is like the camera's facing this way towards the house here. Um, so that's what that was. So it's actually interestingly near Wakita. So Wakita's just up there. Um, the F1, the dirt road, the ditch twister is here. So you see them around the corner. I'll probably do this better on Google Maps. Let's just quickly type in Wolf Road. before my address loads up. I don't want people. No, Wolf Road, Oklahoma. Yeah. So like the camera's got like a close up of like the Jeep logo on the back of the truck for of the very first actual tornado you see in it. I put the photos on the Discord. Thank you. I'll check those out once I've finished this stream. Um, yeah, so it's got like the close up of the back of the Jeep, and they come around this corner, and there's like a car beeping at them coming the other way, and you see the tornado up here. This is the road I was talking about in the other stream. If you follow this down, it'll take you to the walk in the woods scene. So if I remember rightly, it's uh, I recognize it based on the shape of the road. I think it was here. It'll actually. Why am I looking at it? I literally have it saved already. And here was it there? Yeah. So he kind of got an aerial shot, and Rabbit says we're about to take a walk in the woods, and that's somewhere around here. Yeah. You see them driving along here, and then I believe this is where they turn right off the road. Where no, they do like talking of power slides, they do like the drifting onto the dirt road. I believe that was there. Yeah, the scene starts here, and they kind of turn left, and then I think they drive around these trees a bit, and then come back up here. But anyway, talking about let's not go off into all the minutiae of every scene. The ditch scene was filmed up here, so they go into the ditch and they actually built that for the movie somewhere along here. Because in one scene you see them, they'll pass through the trees. Oh, the game's finished building. Okay, that's ready to push the update. They'll go through like a strip of trees, and then there's like a CGI barn, and that gets destroyed. They continue in the ditch up here, and eventually they crash into the little wooden bridge. And you can even see like there's like a little pond lake there. You'll see it. It's when Helen Hunt says it's windy. You see that behind her. But what's interesting, if I go into Street View from 2009, 2009, I think it was. Yeah, I don't know if this is like the remnants of the bridge. People who've visited there have actually said like the wooden planks were still there. At least that was back in 2021, I think. Like the wooden planks are still there. Like somebody chipped a little bit of wood off and kept it. Like the farmer let him. There's even there's videos where the farmer actually, because they came, it was during the Wakita thing, and they all stopped with like the replica vehicles along the road. So the farmer came to see what was going on. He actually let them drive on the field, like obviously at a low speed, to recreate it, and then he give them a tour, showed them the tractor and around his farm. Like he was a really cool guy. Just sort of like, oh yeah, and he told them stories about his time um, while they were filming Twister. So I thought, what a cool guy. He didn't have to go out of his way. He's a farmer. He's going to be busy as it is. And I'm talking to a bunch of Twister fans, but yeah, just genuine cool guy. So yeah, that's the Ditch Twister Road. Uh, some other stuff. When Jonas decides to, when they ask do a follow, he says we do not. That was here. So you know where Bill like skids the car, and they see the skid marks on the road, and he's like do a follow. That was here. Obviously, sadly they've completely rebuilt it now. But if you go back to 2009, you can see it was here. So the camera does like a zoom in, and you see the skid marks on the road here. And there used to be back in 1995. There used to be a pump jack in the corner here. And then Bill drives up there, and there's a tractor parked at the side of the road. George Braden. Oh, you can actually go up here now. You never used to be able to. That must have added that in 2021. And the drive up here, which is interesting because that's when they spot the tornado. So then they take this detour, and then when you actually first see the tornado, they've magically teleported all the way over here. This red line, which I've added on the map, that was a real tornado. That was the path of the Red Rock tornado in 1991. So there was actually a real tornado which did track along here, and it actually went over the road. Where is it? Oh, maybe it was a different. one. I thought it went further than that. I'm pretty sure it tracked over here, so this is where they have the argument and drift off the road and almost crash into a tractor. That was over here. Uh, so yeah, you see a lot of the scenes, and then the when you see the F2, so they continue the chase. When you see the F2, and like he brakes and reverses and takes a side road, that's all around here. The F2, and then they end up over by Core Lake, where it turns into the water spouts. This is a filming location which was mentioned, but it doesn't appear in the film, and I can't figure out what it was for. Uh, so those are some of the Oklahoma ones. Then after that, I think you go to Iowa. So for Twister Hill tornado, that was all up here. So you got Pilot Mound. You've got the famous jumper F3. For the F4, you're back over in Oklahoma again and Guthrie. And then for the F5, that's all over the place. I've got some locations I need to add. So a lot of the F5 scene where Jonas gets killed is filmed along 175 and Taylor. Um, yeah, and then you've got different things like the the farming implements dealer, which gets hit by the F5. That's here. Um, some helicopter shots were here, like when Jonas's caravan's driving when they're leaving Wakita, and you get that swooping shot of Jonas's team driving along the road. That was this way heading east. And when Bill drives into the corn, was just around the corner. So what's interesting is a lot of these film locations they were shot really close to each other, but they appear in completely different parts of the film. So you can kind of piece together in which order they filmed everything in. And a lot of stuff around Cambridge. So it's famously where the tanker drops and explodes. That's up here. And when they do the F3 deployment, is here. Also where Bill does the power slide. We first view of the F5s along here. The bridge where they hand over the sensors is this one here. So yeah, a lot of cool stuff. So yeah, definitely if are going to visit the locations, make use of this map. I'll make sure to update it as well because you don't want to visit and then realize there's like 12 other spots you could have filmed or visited at the same time. And then this is where all the farming implements start to fall from the sky. So if you actually look at the distance, so the farm implement dealership is here, and they don't start falling from the sky till over there. So what is that in terms of distance? Can I measure it? No, it doesn't look like I can, not on here. So yeah, just thought I'd show it. Let me drop the link to this in the chat. How do I do that again? Is it share? I'll copy that. I'll drop it in the Discord just in general. Um, let's see, artwork. Ah, cool. Some photos for the inspiration for the Steam page. Let's have a look. That looks very real. I don't know if you changed the coloring or something there. That looks very real. It looks like I could almost see that happening in a 90s like tornado foot. Oh yeah, I definitely need to get. I forgot about that. Yeah, that's definitely going to look dramatic. I need the sparks flying from the power line. I need to capture that. Debris, nice. The tornado. That's one thing as well. Since you can't see the left edge of the tornado, it's up to the viewer's imagination of how wide that tornado is. Definitely need some nighttime tornadoes. Yeah, I don't know if it's something with the way you photograph these or something. These are looking more real than what I feel like my own in-game photos look like. Yeah, definitely lots of debris and destruction. That looks sick. That looks really nice. Yeah, thank you for those. Let me drop. I'm not sure what the most thing is. Probably Twister the movie. Let me just drop the link in there. Yeah, so feel free to take a look at that. Plan your road trips accordingly. Um, but yeah, I should probably get this update pushed. It's all VHS mode. Is Wakita, Oklahoma a real town? Yes, it is. It actually uses a real location. But yeah, I should probably wrap up the stream now because I've been streaming almost 2 hours. Thank you so much, everybody who's come in and joined, and thank you. Just shout out to Real Smith for suggesting adding the precipitation and the rain curtains. That's definitely um, leveled up the visuals like another notch. So that's definitely been worthwhile doing. Uh, I'm gonna uh, sign out now and go and push this update, which you're all eagerly waiting for. And yeah, see you all again soon on the next stream, and look forward to the update coming out in the next 10-15 minutes.